In recent weeks, Tait treated to an exciting peek behind the scenes through the Instagram story of Robert Scott Wilson, who plays Alex Kyriakis on the soap. Wilson shared several behind-the-scenes photos and videos, giving fans a glimpse of what's happening on set. One particular detail caught the attention of many fans: the return of Greg Vaughn, the actor who portrays Eric Brady, in a behind-the-scenes photo. This sighting has left fans buzzing with speculation about Eric's future on the show, particularly since it was recently confirmed that Vaughn was spotted back on set filming new scenes. For longtime fans of Days of Our Lives, Eric Brady has been a central figure in the saga of Salem, known for his complicated relationships, moral struggles, and devotion to his family. The character has long been loved by audiences for his loyalty, depth, and undeniable connection with Nicole Arian Zucker. Eric's journey has taken him across the globe, from his days as a priest to his current life with Nicole and their son, Jude Brady, Oliver McClarty, in Paris. However, Eric has always been one to return to Salem when the situation calls for it. This return seems inevitable as Days of Our Lives continues its 60th anniversary celebrations, with major moments set to unfold. So, what does Greg Vaughn's return on set mean for Eric's future on the show? A glimpse into the future. What's next for Eric Brady? The photo shared by Robert Scott Wilson on his Instagram story showed Greg Vaughn dressed in a sharp suit, and it has many fans wondering what this could mean for Eric's role in the upcoming storylines. Eric has made it clear in the past that he's always willing to come back to Salem to support those he loves. The fact that Vaughn was spotted in the studio indicates that he will be involved in some major upcoming storylines. However, given that Days of Our Lives films months in advance, it's possible that Eric's return will not be a one-time event. It's exciting to think that Eric might return not only for the 60th anniversary celebration but for new developments in his personal life. In the past, Eric and Nicole's relationship has been fraught with ups and downs, including complicated moments involving their son Jude. Could this return signal a major shift in their relationship? Fans may see Eric and Nicole navigating new challenges that could change the course of their family dynamic. The nature of Eric's return raises several possibilities for his storyline. Will he come back to Salem for an important family matter? Is his suit indicative of him taking part in a significant event or a new business venture in Salem? The suit could also suggest that Eric is stepping into a new role, perhaps even something that puts him back in the thick of the action in Salem's fast-paced world of business and intrigue. Eric and Nicole, will their romance survive? One of the most pressing questions for fans revolves around Eric's romantic future, particularly with Nicole. Currently, the couple is living in Paris with their son Jude. Their relationship has been tested in many ways, especially given their complicated history and the fact that Eric's past commitments and personal struggles have often come between them. But despite these challenges, Eric and Nicole have always found their way back to each other. That said, Days of Our Lives is known for its twists and turns, and it's not beyond the writers to introduce new hurdles for the couple. Could this latest visit from Eric mean that Nicole and Eric's romantic bliss will soon be interrupted? A breakup or separation might be on the horizon, particularly if Days of Our Lives needs a narrative explanation for why Eric and Nicole are apart. If a split were to occur, the question of how they would handle co-parenting Jude would inevitably come to the forefront, complicating matters further. At the same time, it's equally possible that Eric's return to Salem could just be a temporary visit, allowing him to reconnect with loved ones and resolve any ongoing issues. If this is the case, it might open the door for Eric and Nicole to continue their long-distance relationship. However, what would a long-distance relationship look like for the couple? Eric has always been a man of conviction, and his commitment to Nicole and their family has been unwavering. Could they find a way to make their love work across the miles? Or would the distance become too much to overcome? New beginnings. Eric's role in Salem's future. As Days of Our Lives moves forward, it's clear that Eric's return is not just about his relationship with Nicole and their son. With the 60th anniversary of DOL approaching, the show is sure to mark the occasion with significant changes, developments, and surprises. It's possible that Eric could be at the center of these events. His presence on set indicates that his role will be integral to what's coming up on the show, whether it's reconnecting with old friends or getting involved in new business ventures. Greg Vaughn's return also sparks excitement because he is a fan favorite. His portrayal of Eric has earned him a dedicated following over the years, and fans are eager to see what happens next. Will Eric return to the Brady family fold, helping his family navigate challenges in Salem? Could he take on a larger role in the business world, perhaps joining forces with his siblings or even taking the lead in some new ventures? The bottom line, Eric Brady's return could bring major surprises. At this point, much remains to be seen about Eric Brady's future on Days of Our Lives. Greg Vaughn's return is an exciting development, but there are still many questions left unanswered. Will Eric and Nicole be able to maintain their relationship, or will external forces drive them apart? Will Eric step into a new role in Salem, taking on new business ventures or stepping back into the family drama? Fans can only speculate for now. But one thing is clear, Eric Brady's return will surely bring a host of new twists and turns for fans to enjoy. For those who have followed Days of Our Lives over the years, Eric Brady's journey has been one filled with love, heartbreak, and personal growth. It's clear that Greg Vaughn's return is one of the many exciting developments set to unfold in the months ahead. As always, Days of Our Lives is full of surprises, and Eric's storyline is bound to add a new layer of drama and excitement to the show. Fans can rest assured that they'll be seeing more of Eric Brady soon, and as always, they'll be rooting for him as he navigates whatever challenges come his way. Stay tuned for more updates on Eric Brady's return and the thrilling developments ahead on Days of Our Lives. Next, Tait's reckoning and Holly's compassion. A day of secrets, consequences, and unexpected help. March 26, 2025 was a day full of tense moments, unexpected revelations, and difficult choices for the people of Salem. As the afternoon unfolded, it became clear that the events of the day would have lasting consequences for everyone involved, from Tait's deep internal conflict to Holly's surprising kindness. It was a day that would forever change the lives of those who were caught up in the complex web of secrets, regrets, and fragile relationships that seemed to define this quiet little town. Tait's inner turmoil. A broken promise and unspoken anger. Tait paced back and forth in his living room, his mind racing with regret and anger. His thoughts kept returning to the conversation he had had with Julie earlier that day. What had he been thinking? What the hell was I thinking? He muttered under his breath, shaking his head. He had made a promise to Holly, a promise that he had broken in the most damaging way possible. It wasn't just the broken promise that weighed heavily on him. It was the betrayal he felt as he realized how easily he had been drawn into the mess surrounding Holly and Doug. He had foolishly opened up to Julie, revealing a secret that was never meant to see the light of day. He had told Julie that her husband's nephew, Doug, was a thief. It wasn't just an accusation. It was a direct attack on Doug's character, and Tait knew deep down that he had done it out of anger, not just concern for Holly. Tait had spent so much time stewing over the idea that Holly had been too close to Doug, that perhaps she had even been to blame for Doug's mistakes. He had wanted to punish Doug, not protect Holly, and that was where he had gone wrong. His emotions had clouded his judgment, and now he was facing the consequences of his rash decision. He was already dreading the moment Holly would find out what he had done, knowing full well that she wouldn't forgive him easily. As Tait continued to wrestle with his guilt, he was interrupted by the sound of the door opening. It was Sophia walking in with a sense of optimism that immediately clashed with the tension in the room. Sophia had hoped today would be the day her mother, Amy, would finally agree to adopt her. There were only a few more questions to answer, and if all went well, the long, emotional journey would be over. But Tait couldn't focus on her excitement. He was too preoccupied with his own thoughts. Sophia, ever perceptive, immediately recognized that something was wrong. "What's going on, Tait?" she asked, her voice filled with concern. Tait let out a frustrated sigh. "It's Holly," he confessed, his voice barely above a whisper. He then recounted what had happened with Julie, explaining how he had broken his promise and exposed Doug's secret. He knew he had crossed a line, and now he would have to face the consequences of his actions. Sophia tried to offer a small glimmer of hope, suggesting that perhaps Holly didn't know what Tait had done. But Tait wasn't so sure. He knew how secrets spread in Salem. It wouldn't be long before Holly found out, and when she did, the fallout would be disastrous. Holly's compassion and Doug's desperation. Meanwhile, across town, Holly was lying in her bed, her phone in hand. She had just sent a text message to Doug, hoping to hear how things were going with Julie. She wasn't prepared for the phone call that would come next. Doug, looking disheveled and exhausted, had fallen asleep on a park bench after a long, emotionally draining day. Paulina Day, always the caring soul, happened to find him as she walked by. She looked down at Doug in surprise, shaking her head. "What happened to you, Doug?" she murmured, clearly concerned. She placed her bag of sweet bits on the bench next to him before walking away to let him rest. Doug's phone beeped, waking him up from his nap. When he checked the message, he saw that it was Holly. His heart sank as he dialed her number. "Julie kicked me out," he explained, his voice tinged with sadness. "I think Melinda told her first. I didn't expect things to go this way." Holly's heart broke when she heard the desperation in Doug's voice. She hadn't realized the depth of his situation until he mentioned that he had slept in the park during a thunderstorm. "Oh my God, Doug," Holly said, her voice filled with concern. "You're homeless. What happened? You have to come over here. I'll make sure you're okay." Without hesitation, Doug agreed to come over, though he still sounded uncertain. Holly hung up the phone, her mind racing with what to do next. She wasn't sure how Tait or her grandmother Maggie would react, but she wasn't about to let Doug suffer any longer. She would talk to them, figure things out, and find a way to help him. When Doug arrived at Holly's apartment, she quickly ushered him inside. He was soaked to the bone from the storm, his clothes clinging to his body. Without a word, Holly told him to strip. His clothes were wet, and she wasn't about to let him stay in such a state. Doug hesitated, but Holly insisted. He slowly removed his shirt and jacket, handing them to her. Holly quickly draped them over the back of a chair, then turned her attention to his pants. "You need to take those off too," she said, her tone gentle but firm. "They're soaked and you need to change." Doug, clearly embarrassed but too cold to argue, complied. Holly knew this was an awkward situation, but she couldn't ignore the gravity of it. She had already decided that she would talk to Maggie about letting Doug stay for a while. Holly was determined to do everything she could to help him, even if it meant challenging Tait's boundaries or her grandmother's usual rules. The growing tension, secrets, lies, and the ripple effect. As Holly cared for Doug, she couldn't help but think about Tait and the mess he had created. She knew that he was struggling with guilt over his actions, but that didn't make it any easier for her to forgive him. The tension between them had been building for some time, and now, with Doug's situation adding fuel to the fire, it seemed like the cracks in their relationship were becoming impossible to ignore. Would Holly be able to forgive Tait for his betrayal? Could she look past the hurt he had caused and trust him again? These questions hung in the air, unanswered, as Holly worked to take care of Doug. In the end, this seemingly small moment, Doug seeking shelter from a storm, would set in motion a series of events that would challenge the relationships and trust between the people of Salem. Tait's guilt, Holly's compassion, and Doug's desperation were only the beginning. The consequences of their actions would ripple throughout the town, affecting their friends, families, and the people they loved. As the storm outside raged on, Holly quietly reflected on the complexity of life in Salem, how secrets always found a way to come to light, how decisions made in the heat of the moment often led to regret, and how sometimes even the smallest acts of kindness could change everything.